What conspiracy theory do you believe is 100% true? The cure for supposedly incurable diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's actually exists and the government just doesn't want you to find out. I'm a professor at an elite university and we're actually told to keep our major discoveries private because it needs to get approved by government officials. I've seen so many of my colleagues make a breakthrough discovery that would make them win a Nobel Prize, but were forced to hide their research in a private database. I've tested out a few myself. I chose a paper that talked about microdosing functional mushrooms. These mushrooms are nothing like magic mushrooms because they're not going to trip you out or give you any negative side effects. Instead, they're going to help rewire the brain and improve the body's immunity. Functional mushrooms are the only mushrooms that provide the body with nutrients and optimize brain power. It seemed like microdosing could be used as an advantage in a person's life. As for the study itself, it said that the mushrooms used were chaga mushrooms and lion's mane. They were meant to be mixed with caffeine so that the mind could enter a focus mode and have heightened cognitive abilities. This is because chaga mushrooms protect your brain cells and improve immune function. Lion's mane boosts cognitive function and memory, and caffeine improves concentration and raises alertness. When used together, these ingredients can enhance your ability to focus, remember things, and think clearly. This meant a person's productivity would shoot up by 100%. I was going to look for lion's mane and chaga mushrooms to mix into a cup of coffee, but I found a flow state mushroom coffee that already had the same ingredients. One morning, I brewed a pot of mushroom coffee before a long day of teaching and grading over 150 papers in 2 days. I procrastinated a lot because doing the same thing every day is tiring and boring, which then makes it harder to properly concentrate and do the work that's required. By the time I got to the university, I immediately felt ready to start the day with new energy and focus. As I was teaching, I presented the lessons clearly and got through everything I had planned really easily. Some of my classes even ended early. Then, I had to grade my stack of papers. I would usually feel drained from teaching and using all my brain power to discuss each lesson plan. However, that day, I still had enough energy to grade papers without any issues. I sat down at my desk and went into great detail about what each student did wrong and how they could improve, which is normally a hassle for many professors. I was able to get through 2 piles of papers instead of my usual half. By now, I would be exhausted and ready to go home. Though this time I didn't have those pessimistic thoughts, and I was more willing to do more work because I was still focused on completing everything for the day. I was managing my workload better than ever, and the flow state mushroom coffee was more effective than drinking regular coffee, especially since it did more than just keep me awake. When I looked at the mushroom research paper again later that day, I realized I had experienced all the effects written there, down to the last detail. Since it worked, that meant there was a different reason the higher-ups decided to not show the public any of the research. I got the feeling that the reason was that some industries could be negatively impacted by the discoveries. That got me thinking, if the study on flow state mushroom coffee was successful, what does that mean for every other study? Edit. The coffee I use is called Clarity Brew, just search it up.